Yeah, I want to hop on here. Good afternoon. I want to hop on here for a few minutes. Speak on the subject of, so you call yourself a king. That's a title that shouldn't be used loosely, and it doesn't describe every man. It doesn't describe every man because there's certain attributes that you must possess when you call yourself a king. Calling yourself a king, and that title must match your behavior. It's certain attributes that you should possess. Uh, Number one, you can't be a people pleaser that's trying to please everybody, not willing to stand for anything, scared to make a decision because you might offend somebody over here. Then you make a decision over here, then you offend somebody over here. No, if you're a king, you say what you mean what you say, and you don't care who it offends. Either they gonna get with the program or they can get gone. You can't be a people pleaser. If you call yourself a king, now you if you call yourself a peasant or a simp, I mean that you can do that, but you can't call yourself a king and then you a people pleaser. It'll never work, and you'll never satisfy everybody because one decision go offend somebody, and it doesn't matter. You make a decision, you stand on it. If they don't like it, tough. You got to make that decision and you stand on it. You can't be fearful and full of doubt. You got to be confident. You got to know who you are. You got to be bold and brave, full of courage. You can't be fearful and doubt and full of doubt. You got to be a risk taker. You got to be willing to take a risk. You got to be willing to accept the outcome of your decision. Once you make that risk, whatever happens, happens. You can't be afraid. You can't go back and say, what if? No, make that decision. You made a decision. You took that risk. It didn't work out the way you planned. Okay. Sit back, see what you did wrong, and you come back. But you got to be a risk taker. Never be afraid to take a risk. You can't get to where you need to be if you're unwilling to take a risk. You got to be never afraid to confront your enemies. Confront your enemies because they're gonna confront you. They don't have a problem confronting you. How you gonna call yourself a king or a leader and you afraid to confront your enemies? See, you confront your enemies and you destroy them. You show your enemies no mercy. Like I said, you gotta believe in yourself. You gotta be self-disciplined. You can't be easily controlled by sex. You gotta have penis control. Not every woman deserves your time, energy, or attention. You gotta be selective. You gotta have standards for yourself and for others. You gotta set those standards, and then if they violate those standards, you cut them off. Never be afraid to cut people off when they've disrespected you. After you told them what you want, and they still disrespect you, cut them off. because they have no respect for you, and they never will have respect for you. Because if they do it one time, they'll do it again. That's just like in Ruth, when the king called for his wife, Queen Vesta, and she disrespected him by not coming. He didn't ask her again. He just banished her from the king and um and held a nationwide search for another queen. You don't give them an opportunity to disrespect you again. Either you're gonna get on board or you can get gone. That's why you gotta have standards for yourself and standards for others. Because if you don't have standards, you'll just settle for anything. You gotta be purpose focused. You gotta be focused on your purpose. When you're focused on your purpose, you don't have time for that pettiness. Because you're busy pursuing your purpose. You can't be easily distracted. And believe me, folks will come to try to distract you with pettiness, with foolishness. That stuff ain't even worth your time. You stay focused on your purpose, you pursue your purpose, and everything that you need will be attracted. You attract everything that you need. You don't even have to chase it. It'll attract itself to you. Like I said, being a king, your words have to match your actions. You have to be committed. You have to say what you mean what you say, and follow through. You can't say one thing and do another because people lose respect for you. They have no respect for you. If you say you're going to do it, you do it. If you say you're going to be there, you be there. If you can't be there, you let them know that you can't be there. If you said you can do it, then you can't do it, you let them know. You apologize, and then you make it right. So you call yourself a king. You can't even lead yourself. You can't even make a decision and stand on it because you're concerned about somebody's feelings, sparing somebody's feelings. No, you don't. You say it. You say what you're gonna do it. You do it. Hell, if they hurt, sorry. Well, then again, I'm not sorry. Okay, a king doesn't have a slave mentality. Doesn't think small. A king thinks big. He thinks long term. He's not going to make a short term decision or a long term decision based on a short term situation. A king thinks long term. He thinks years down the line. He don't wait till the last minute and do anything. He get things done, decent and in order, and he thinks long term. If you don't have any of these attributes, you can't call yourself a king. You can call yourself a king, but you're not a real king. Those are the attributes of a king, attributes of a real man, a man on a mission, a man with purpose. You can't be unstable. You can't be easily angered. Your emotions all over the place. You're led and controlled by your emotions. No. So you call yourself a king, get yourself in line. If you find any value in this video, like, share, subscribe to my channel. It's Just Percy Podcast. Like I've always say, whatever you do, do it better. If you call yourself a king, go get your kingdom.